Well, welcome back, everybody. Well, that was fun, wasn't it, while it lasted? We've had a red flag incident, obviously the server crashed, so we are back to 5 hours of the race remaining. We're going to have a formation lap, and then the race will restart, and the 5 hours will count down. Unfortunately, obviously people that have lost positions, that's terrible news for them. But it's good for us because we're going to get a bunch of the pack up and basically like another race, so that's one good positive, I suppose. Yeah, so at the time of the red flag, these were the positions. So Apex Online Racing were leading in the 14 Ferrari, then Team Phoenix 2, SBR Europe, Team Phoenix 1 in 4th, 5th Team Year 1, 6th for IRL Black, Southern State Racing in 7th, Nordic Racing, E-Racing in 8th, CDTB Esports in 9th, and ran out of top 10 was Slow Motion Racers, followed by Turn 1 Sim Racing, FRL Racing Team, SBR Endurance, ISS Racing Team, Virtual Racing League, and you can see the rest for yourself. We've got 26 cars back in the server, but shout out to the admins and in sorting this out very quickly. They had a procedure to go to and they followed it perfectly. More than half the field disconnected, so a red flag was called, and that's what we have right now. So yes, I'm just going to bring someone into the comms box. 2 seconds. So I'm hoping that the French smoker, the French assassin, Friedman will join us. I'm sure he will at some point. So a shame for Apex Online Racing. They were really walking away with it. I'm sure they still will, but for us it's great to have a reset and have some real close racing. It's good for my team because we were really struggling. Just want to apologise personally to Slow Motion Racers for, in my stint, I accidentally crashed into them, missed a braking point. So sorry to those guys. Hold my hands up on that one. And hopefully it hasn't ruined your race completely, even though I know it probably caused you a lot of time loss. So we're just waiting for this to get underway now. Hopefully the teams are sorted. We started with 27 and we now have 26, so we have lost one, so maybe they haven't managed to get the team member to come back in and sort it out in time. But so it's Ferrari, Mercedes, BMW, McLaren, sorry, Aston Martin, McLaren and Audi, the top 10. So I'll be here for the next hour and then I'll hand over. I will be handing over, I think, to the pro commentator, which is Tom Cairns.
20 seconds.
20 seconds then until we get the formation lap underway and we can get this 5 hour race back on track. This 8 hour race back on track. We've had 3 so far.
10 seconds.
And it's been fraught action from when I was driving the car. There was a lot of contact and a lot of issues. But hopefully everything carries on now without any trouble. Indianapolis, the host for this race then, the first time that FRL have done a race like this for PS5 anyway. You can catch a lot of PC leagues with this sort of setup, but great to have this on PS5. There's nothing like it. So there's a lot of red cars up the front there. They're the Ferraris, so obviously it's very suited to this track. A very well, kind of a track of two halves really. You've got the fast flowing first section and then the car park section at the end. Just going to adjust the mic levels there, it's a little bit loud. Hopefully that's better for you. Be drowned out by the engines too much. right on board there with Apex as they build the speed, build the tyre pressures, build the brake temperature, getting ready for a start. A second start here, just in case you have just joined us. There was a red flag. We've had to restart this race with 5 hours remaining, and hopefully that's the end of the troubles. But that, what you see there on the left, is the classification at the time of the red flag, as best as the admins could do it, and I have to say they've done a wonderful job. Hi there in the chat to everyone, and yeah, well done, Lewis. And thanks to Vortex. Yep, I'll need all the luck in the world, mate. I've not driven very well, so hopefully my commentary goes a lot better than my driving. But we're building now, we're nearly at the end of the lap. They go side by side on this part of the track. I'll try and cover things for you as best I can, but this is going to be a bit of madness, I think, in the early laps. People are going to be a bit desperate, I think. I hope I'm wrong. So can Apex Online Racing Pro carry on where they left off in the first 3 hours? Waiting for a start then. We'll go through a few more drivers once we get going, but we just want to cover this at the moment. The stress levels of the drivers will be up now that no one likes a stoppage. It just brings all the adrenaline back as we prepare for this start. They thought they got over this bit, but we had to do it again. So for the second time then, we're about to get underway at Indianapolis. There's 5 hours remain. The clock starts and the green flag comes on, and the Ferraris seem to be working together there. They're all flying down to turn one. So far so good, but they're all strung out a little bit. So who's going to get in front? And around the outside, the Ferrari makes the move and is a little bit desperate, and he's paid the price for it. There's a lot of crashing and bumping behind. We'll try and see what's going on there. There's Craig Law, and he's sideways. He's caught the car though. That's very similar to what happened to me actually in the first start. But anyway, it is Apex Online Racing leading the race. I would say that's SBR Europe up in the second place, and it is. So let's let everyone get through the first section, and then we can figure out what exactly is going on. But there seemed to be a lot of chaos into turn one. The Ferrari tried a desperate move around the outside, and it was never going to work. And it's dropped him down to fourth place, I believe. So we are through the first section. Apex Online Racing lead, SBR Europe Team Year 1, followed by Team Phoenix 2, Southern State Racing, Slow Motion Racers, IRL Black, Team Phoenix 1, Nordic E Racing and FRL Racing Team. We're all rounding out the top 10 at the moment, but here we go for second place. Team Year 1 straight on the case. Nikola Buzov leading that charge. But Apex Online Racing already stretching their legs, and it's chaos behind. So across the line for the first time, and we'll go to this angle so we can see all the cars behind. And there's an overtake there further back with the Aston Martin of Jorgensen overtaking the FRL Racing Team, or are they being overtaken? And here comes Craig Law. He's going to try and overtake both of them, but that's not going to work, and thinks better of it. But he looks like he might have the FRL Racing Team, and with that line he should be okay to get that done, because the next corner will come to his favour. And Craig Law then up into 10th place, or is he? Switchback, great little switchback there from Thomas Walsh for FRL Racing Team, but he thinks better of getting into side by side in that kink, and probably again a very wise move. VRL Racing Team as well making moves. Turn 1 Sim Racing with McCutcheon at the wheel fighting back, and side by side down the back straight, confusing back straight with the left hand side. The white line is the racetrack, but and again they're still side by side. Great respect from these two drivers, and they managed to get that done without any issues. Let's go back to the front though, and Apex Online Racing are stretching their legs like I said they were. And a possible move there. No, Nicola Buzov manages to hold off the BMW. See if we can go on board here. And so Mailer trying to get past Buzov. Needs to watch out there because the 888 Ferrari is very close in attendance. Quite that the BMW's got the legs, and is he defending? No, he's not defending. Looked like the Ferrari maybe having a run at him, and he's quite late on the brakes there. That looked quite close in the end. So Slow Motion Racers 5th, Southern State Racing in 6th, IRL Racing Black are in 7th. I think that's Rapid Duck. Wants to see him out and about. Team Phoenix 1 in 8th. We've got Nordic E Racing with Craig Law catching them for SBR Endurance, my team. The car looks a bit straighter than when I drove it though. Thomas Walsh, known Thomas for a long time, very good driver, in 11th place. Catching in 12th. There's Roman Miska, another good driver from Virtual Racing League, friends of mine. And they are in 13th, they've come up well from, I think they started quite a way back, like 19th. We've got Cataldo, sorry, in 14th. Larama, he's in 15th. Godden in 16th. And he had a big crash earlier, actually, I saw that going onto the main straight. But let's see if we can, how's this progressing? Quite well, but there's a Ferrari missing. The 888 must have made a mistake. He's been overtaken by Slow Motion Racers in the McDonald's Makes Me Hungry Audi. Southern State Racing now under a lot of pressure from the BMW there. He's not gaining on the straight. The car seems so close on BOP that it's really hard to overtake someone down the straight. And here we go now. Oh, that was a bit desperate, and it's not paid off at all for Team Year 1. Didn't seem, he's trying to do a cutback, I think, and he just got it wrong and tagged the back of the Mercedes of SBR Europe. And now the Ferrari sideways trying to make a move on him, and that's going to be contact, and you can see it coming. And now it's going to be Bedlam. Craig Law manages to get around it quite well, and FRL Racing Team will try and go around the outside and down the what can only be described as the runway, but someone put a bridge in the middle, so that ain't going to work. And now he's gone very deep on the brakes, but he manages to pull it off and stay ahead of the FRL Racing Team. So yeah, bit of desperation there, but meanwhile in a different time zone to everyone else, the Apex Online Racing Team Pro are pulling away quite nicely. Buzov will be happy that the pressure's gone for the moment, but it does seem like Slow Motion Racers is catching him. The 888 Ferrari's recovered from his fun and games and is 4th. Southern State Racing have come up well as well. I think they were really far back when they started. I think they were quite far back because they didn't join qualifying when they should have. But they've got attentions now. Sukovic, IRL Black, doing a great job. We've got Jorgensen, just keeping a watching brief. Zogo, pretty much the same. Craig Law up to 9th now, from 13th on the grid. Mailer will regroup and go again. He seems to have a lot of pace. It's Thomas Walsh. So where do we get to on our little rundown? I really have to try and pronounce that. Weigert in the Porsche, the lone Porsche, doing a good job now, is 17th. Frenker, but just behind him in another fast team, the VRL Jota Sport team. Now, if you remember the driver swap ESSA series, he almost won at Spa, but he's got an SBR GBR team right behind him now, and that's what I don't like about this straight, is that runoff. It's a bit silly. But that normally dirty tyres there for the McLaren because he went too far off. Now can the SBR GBR team get around the outside? No, it was never going to really work there. And now they're under pressure from Damon van der Voort in the WAL racing team. Then we have Ignition Sim racing behind that. African Thunder, the French Connection, who will, well, they've disconnected 3 times, so the French Connection can't be that good. Won't pay for that one. And yeah, Will Freeman making up time, making up places. He would have started last, no doubt. Congalivs as well. He's also carrying on. Clark in 25th, and then the Honda of Castagoli. I've just completely murdered that. Right now, so Buzov now under pressure from Giggle. The slow motion racers, and he's closed in well. Just trying to see if there was any other very, very close battles. But this one looks like the most important right now because it's for second place. So Will Freeman obviously won't be joining me because he's driving the car, so great little fight this. Ferrari moving in as well, the 588. The feeling that Zukovic is not going to sit behind McLaren for too long either. Oh, and that's Craig Law off. Craig Law's gone off, spun the car. And that's a disaster for the team. My team. We're going to drop right back there to 14th by the looks of it, which is pretty much where we started. That's the story of our day, really. What's that? What's this all about? Thomas Walsh, and now they're going to contact surely. No. Thomas Walsh has obviously run deep there at the chicane. And now we have a move. Slow motion racers down the inside of SBR. Europe can't get it done, and there's contact, and that's put him sideways, Buzov sideways, and more contact. And what is this? It's like wacky races here. He should be given that position back in the Audi, really. He's chosen not to. And the main beneficiary of that is the 888 Ferrari, the Team Phoenix 2. Petruzilla. That seemed a little bit unnecessary, to be honest. And I'm sure Buzov will be trying to repay the favour at some point, but not in terms of contact, just to get the position back. So I think Zukovic did actually get past the Southern State Racing McLaren there, as we can see. So this is a great battle now. Right now, can Zukovic make a move? No, he's gone wide there, so now he's going to be under threat from Southern State Racing. Sorry about that, there we go. Let's see if the McLaren's got any legs on the BMW. It's sort of catching now, slightly. Is he close enough for a move? No, not quite, into turn 1. Go to the helicam and just see where the McLaren's strong in this first sector. What other battles do we have further down the field? Let's see if we can. There's one, Baltic Sea Racing in the lone Porsche. Great to see that out on track. Team Phoenix 1 as well, quite close to the BMW Team Year 1. And again, IRL Black trying to put the pressure on SBR Europe. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Hopefully the noise of the cars isn't drowning out my terrible voice. Slow motion racers are starting to move onto the back of the 888 Ferrari as well. Then we've got a move in the background. Can we get over? And that's a good move. Bit of a block pass, but that's racing. And well, you've been a bit too kind, Mr. Aston Martin. I think you earned the right to make that move, to be honest. And you're going to end up losing at least 1 or 2 places here because you're out wide, and the BMW is surely going to take advantage of that. That's it. It's very generous of you, but I don't think you needed to do that. Can the Aston get the move done in turn 1? No, the Ferraris are braking late. That looked like the Aston Martin driver saw that one come in of Jorgensen and just moved over to the inside a little bit to give him room to sort out his problems. And yeah, the Ferrari moves up a place though. Team Fenix 1 move ahead. They're behind the teammates Team Fenix 2, so they might want to try and sort that out before the end of the race. Thanks, Lewis. But now things are starting to settle down, and as soon as I say that, the Aston Martin goes on the grass. But Team Year 1 then, they're going for it. Can he send it down the inside of the Ferrari? He's thinking about it. Oh, it's close. Not quite. Now this is where the front engine cars are a little bit stronger. It's through this section here. You can see that. Look how much the BMW takes out the Ferrari through there. And now he's really well placed, and he'll get the run up the inside. Let's go to a camera where we can see what's going on, and that's a really strange outside line there for the Ferrari, but he gave him a lot of room, so respect. And the FRL admin team now starting to move up to the back of that car as well. That was some really good racing. That's what we want to see. BMW's a little bit wide there on the exit. This is where the Ferrari comes into its own. Bit of love for slow motion racers in the chat there, and yeah, they're responding. They're in 3rd place and moving up really well. Nico Buzov is going to feel like the kid that's bullied at school here. He's getting attacked by everyone, and now his latest friend for fighting is Zukovic in the 48 BMW. Buzov not quite got the pace of the guys around him at the moment, but everyone's on possibly different strategies. Could explain it. It's a team we haven't really looked at. Gordon in the McLaren. Caught the back of the Virtual Racing League, and then we've got Craig Law all over the back of the ISS Racing team. Craig will try and sort out after his error there and exit in this corner. So I wonder if he ran off onto the grass, which is very easy to do, and he's well placed again now to send one up the inside. Although the Audi carries so much speed through that corner, he could switch back, but he's decided better of it, and the Audi's actually gone deep. You can see it, but not deep enough for Craig to get a run there. And Craig now trying to set something up, but he's also trying not to get hit by the Mercedes behind him. But I don't think that's going to last. And now we've got the side-by-side action for 4th, and Zukovic moving up another place, so he's having a really good restart here. 15 minutes in, and he's climbed a lot of positions. Did Craig Law make the move? Nope, he's still behind. So we've got cars bursting through the packs. One of them is this Audi, the 171 of Giggle. I'm going to say that's your name. I'm really sorry it's wrong. In the slow motion racers car. He's definitely burst through the pack up to 3rd place, as has Zukovic up to 4th. And Nikola Buzov is sort of dropping down the order there, down to 5th now. Durand is in 6th. For Southern State Racing, but he is getting the attentions of Jorgensen and Mailer, who's on a comeback charge after that spin. So don't forget to drop a like, guys. Subscribe to the channel. You could do with more subscribers at FRL, to be honest with you. The subscribers doesn't back up the action that you guys get to see every week, so if you could be so kind. I'll pop a fiver in the post, promise. Looking around for some of the closest action. This seems to be it so far. Meanwhile, in a postcode not far from here, here is your leaders. 11-second lead after 11 laps, so that tells you all you need to know about their pace. A second lap quicker than everyone else. And, well, they deserve it because they are the fastest. The 208 of Will Friedman in the French connection. He's disconnected 3 times, like I say, and he's got past the Jota Sport McLaren and up into 19th. As soon as he goes through the first time in split, you'll see that. There you go. And his next victim will be Damien Vanderpool, who's not easy to pass, coming off a podium at Kyle Army in the Taco Tuesday final round for Pro Series drivers. So Will's not got the easiest task ahead of him. But Will already up to 19th from the back of the pack, so he's nearly past 10 cars now. Let's just see if he makes a move now. Possibly a little bit too far back. Mercedes is quite good on the brakes, but not quite good enough there. We'll keep an eye on that one, because here's the battle for second place, and we've got an Aston defending in the background as well, so we're going to have a look at that. Jorgensen it is. It looks like he is under threat from the BMW behind of Mailer. Mailer looking to lick a stamp and send it somewhere, and this could be it. The BMW will turn really tight, and the Aston has no answer to that. Ferrari turns up and says, look at me, I can go sideways, and blocks 2 cars there. And that's going to help the FRL racing team get round the outside. Thomas Walsher with a great move, and passing the Southern State Racing McLaren, which has dropped 3 positions, so not a great lap for them. While Craig Law was only a 10th behind at the last split, still hasn't managed to get past this Audi, which you do feel is holding him up pretty badly. Craig trying to get a run on it, but to no avail at the minute, and he needs to watch the other Mercedes behind him that's also looking for a move. And there's a McLaren there diving around as well, and Will's joining in this battle. Keep an eye out for a couple more corners. Nope, he's made a mistake there, so this is still the battle for second. The Audi closing in quite nicely. Zukovic, though, has not shaken off the attentions of Buzov, who has decided now he needs to get back at people. Will Friedman now 17th, so he has got past Van der Poel, and now he's just got past the McLaren, sorry, of Larama. And he's lost it, and he was hit. Larama was hit, and he's in the middle of the track. Can he get out of the way? He lost the back end of the McLaren on acceleration, and Damon Van der Poel had nowhere to go and just give a little helping hand around. He should get going by the time that SBR, GBR, Liam O'Neill comes along. And he has. But still the chaos continues. So the State now are behind FRL, but they're up to 9th place now. It's all starting to close up behind Mailer now, this group of cars. Still have this battle for second place. Slow motion racers, not so slow motion at the moment. Definitely on the move forward. This tricky right-hander, it's very hard to spot your braking for that one, at least in a consistent way. And then accelerate onto the straight, grab a little bit of curb on the inside if you're a front engine car, because it will help you get round, because if not you'll go out where that Audi almost went. Now the Audi has a lot of top speed, everyone knows that. Ferrari's weaving, he needs to stop doing that probably now. Audi's looking down the inside, but I don't think he's serious about a move. And he's not. This is allowing the Zukovic-Buzov battle to close back in. Buzov seems to have recovered from whatever was affecting his pace to start with. Maybe he was just being very kind to the tyres and attacking in the second half of the stint. Just go back through the field, just see if we can see any sort of FRL racing team. Definitely doing a good job. Now all over the back of Team Fenix 1. And still Craig Law can't find a way past that stubborn Audi of ISS Racing Team. Cataldo doing a great job of defending. And they are currently well, they're not far from the finish, surely. And now Craig has a good run. Surely he can get the move done now. We're on board with the Audi. He's looking, he's got to send this up the inside now. He hasn't had a chance like this for a little while, but he can't get it done. And now McLaren sends one up the inside as well. But Roman Miska manages to stop any advances from the McLaren. So Craig will stay there for the moment. Let's go back to the front of the pack. You'd think it's quite an easy track to pass on, but actually it's really not. It's a tough little track. Audi looking again, but again I don't think that's going to happen. The Ferrari very good on the brakes there, look, you can see that. Let's go back through the pack here and just see. Craig's still not managed to get that done. Will Freeman's caught the back of this pack now and he can't really advance either. Damien Vanderpool's pretty close as well, can't do anything himself. Let's get some screen time for the guys near the back then. Concalves is in the 300 Ferrari, just behind the Ignition Sim Racing of Richins. At the back is the African Thunder team. I think they've had a few problems actually, and actually I can see in the background Craig Law has finally got it done on the ISS Racing Audi, and that's freed him up now so he can go on the attack up to 11th place. His next fight would be, if he has the pace, it would be with McCutcheon in the Aston Martin. Best place for the Aston Martin's at 11th place, and a great livery there, the Beach Dean one. All three temps up the front. Again, the Audi will dart out to try and distract, but more in hope than actual chance. Buzov really has picked the pace up. I'm pretty sure he's just saved his tyres while everyone else was trying to pass him, and he's just like, on you go, and I'll attack in the second half of the stint when my tyres are still a lot fresher and people are really hanging on. So yeah, a great strategy if that was the strategy. Craig Law in 12th, and I'm expecting Will to start attacking this group now. He's probably used quite a lot of tyre to get where he is right now. He's passed 11 cars. Sideways there on the exit. Yeah, impressive from Buzov, definitely, to regroup and get back in the fight. Mailer's now on his way to this as well. Jorgensen, Walsh, Bitsurgo and Durand is your top 10. McCutcheon, like I say, just struggling to hang on a little bit. He's got 9 seconds over Craig Law. Oh, sideways from the Audi, that was cool. Not cool for the tyres, and he's lost position there to Godin and to Will Friedman. So Friedman now up to 15th. That might make it a bit easier to pass the McLaren because he won't have the slipstream from the car in front so much. So let's follow this for a couple of corners, see if Will can get it done on the main straight. suspect he's a bit too far back. I wonder if he'll change the team name to the French Dodgy Connection for the next race. Like I say, 3 disconnects earlier in the race. Yeah, we're not close enough there as we thought. We've got to keep an eye on the front barrels, I don't want to miss anything. Let's kind of follow the leader there. And they're just 17 seconds behind AOR, so it's still close. Everyone just seems to have settled down now into a pace. This kind of is the closest battle on the track, but I have a feeling that the person to watch is going to be Will Friedman. Although saying that, he's dropped back a little bit from, I believe that's Ben Godin. There's Clark then in the 72, Jackie's racing team. Currently 2 laps behind, but ahead of African Thunder, so they've obviously had some issues. Back onto the front straight again, but this time I would say Buzov is probably the closest, and yep, Zukovic knows it, so goes defending, at least goes wriggling on the straight a little bit to try and break the slipstream. The Mercedes has not got top speed on anything, I don't think, from what I can see, and to be honest I can't see any car that's actually like super rapid down the straight. They all seem to have their faster sectors. I'd say for the front engine cars it seems to be that middle section. The mid-engine cars seem a little bit quicker on the rest of it. So Nico trying to pile the pressure on. Looking back as well, the FRL admin team is starting to move on to the back of Jorgensen. He's got a good run down the back here. Can he send it up the inside? No. Not quite. Aston Martin driver manages to fend that one off. And Thomas Walsh will have to wait to fight another day. So getting to the stage of the stint now where these tyres start to cry. Tyre wear a big issue. And from my experience, you lose about 2 seconds per lap from the start of the stint to the end, which is quite a drop off. And this battle's now raging for 13th. Roman Miska leads the train. And as I predicted, Will Friedman then all over the back of the McLaren. Will with a lot of pace, but struggling to use it at the moment as he tries to get through the traffic. Like I say, in the comms box next we'll have Tom Cairns, but that's an unusual line for Will. He's trying to get the run onto the straight. Don't know if that's going to give him any sort of speed down the straight. He's in the slipstream. So we look back from Godin's car, and Will try and send it around the outside, but there's only one way that's going to end up, and that would be the grass. So again, he'd have to think of another way of getting past. But a good idea. Use the banking to get a run. Still as you were at the top of the order. And here we are in Indianapolis. This track been changed many times over the years. It used to host F1 until you know what happened in 2005, and if you don't know, go check it out. Put it this way, there was a Jordan and a Minardi in the race, and they could have got a podium. Right, so Buzov and Zukovic are now going to be joined by Mailer, who's been chipping away at it. And Thomas Walsh as well, and joining the party by Tom Cairns, but I think that's for when he takes over, which will be very shortly. So for Tom's information, I'm not sure if he's seen, but we've had a red flag, so we had to start again from the 5 hour mark, and Yep, so we've had basically like a restart with 5 hours to go with a grid reset, which has closed everything up. Makes it good for commentators because it keeps the action close. So Nico Buzov, can he make this move on Zukovic? He's been trying for a couple laps. Like I say, he was second on the grid, I'm pretty sure, and he dropped like a stone at the start of the stint, but he is fighting back now, and he's weaving around behind Zukovic, trying to put him off under the braking, but he is an FRL champion, Zukovic, so you'd have to wake up early in the morning to do that to him. As usual, I think that's your name. Still applying pressure to the 888 Ferrari. But again, finding it difficult to find an advantage on this track to make the move. Yeah, I agree. E.G. Genis in the chat there saying big respect to the racing officials for sorting this one out. Great stuff. Yep, agree with that completely. When you've got rules in place for an eventuality like that, then it's easy to follow that and just get on with it. And speaking of getting on with it, here goes Nico Buzov, and if he doesn't get it done, there's a BMW waiting in the background. So around the outside by Nico Buzov, and he's done it. Brilliant job. That is a hell of an overtake, and he's done it. Yeah, he's even left him out to dry there, Zukovic, and he may come completely under threat here now from Mailer, but he's sent it up the inside just to block that move off. Mailer tries a trick that didn't work earlier in the race, and he thinks better of it this time, so he's learnt his lesson. So that's released Nikola Buzov into 4th place. Can he go after the top 2 cars in front of him? I was going to say the leader then for a start, but I think they're already in Detroit. Speaking of which, here is your battle for 2nd and 3rd, and that's a mistake from the BMW, the Ferrari, sorry. But the Audi wasn't able to make the move. Thomas Walsh as well, still those 4 tenths behind the Aston Martin. It seems like people are able to get close, but just not able to find anywhere to make a move. Unless you get a lot of respect from the other driver, like we just saw there with Zukovic and Buzov, which was brilliant racing and a cracking move by Buzov to move him back into 4th place. It's going the right way for him now. So where is Will Friedman? So he's still stuck behind that. I don't really want to say stuck behind, but he's not actually stuck behind because he's not right on the back. He might be feeling the effects of pushing so hard at the start of the stint, which I think is why Mr. Buzov here is so fast at the moment, because I think he looked after his tyres while everyone else went mad. This is getting really close now. You just get a feeling that if he gets one chance, he'll take it. Can he line him up now on this back straight? The Audi, if anything, has got a straight line speed advantage. It will be the Audi. Thomas Walsh as well, all over the back of Jorgensen, and this could be a change. On board with the Aston Martin, he's going to try and send it around the outside. That's brave. Might be able to do a cut back, but cut back to where? Because the next corner goes right, and that's not gonna work. Team Phoenix 1 closing in, and someone's just disconnected. I'm almost sure. Sure, I saw a name drop off the list there, and there's only 25 left in the server. Let's try and figure out who that was. It wasn't Will Friedman this time, so Will, you seem to have sorted your issues. Let's see who joins back. Is normally the clue. I'm trying to figure out who it was, and if you know, say it in the chat because I can't see it. Team Phoenix 1, Team Phoenix 2. Mailer's there. Yep, someone's obviously been disconnected, and Oh, the FRL racing team has gone. Thanks, Tom Cairns, for that. How did I not notice that? Yeah, that's awful. Also saying go Team Phoenix, but you didn't say which one. I assume both. So, disaster for the FRL racing team. They've disconnected out of the server. But we still have this battle for second place. And a battle for fourth place as well. Nikola Buzov, sorry, is not able to shake off the attentions of the BMW of Zukovic. But then when Zukovic was in front, he was not able to shake off the attentions of Buzov. So Mailer's there now though as well. Like we said earlier, he's possibly going to profit from this. Audi very close again, but he just can't seem to get quite close enough going onto that straight. The FRL racing team, I can see them in the pits. They've rejoined the server, but that's as good as race over, to be honest with you. It's a good little battle at the back of the field for 19th place. Porsche with stunning corner exit speed. But nowhere to go. Bits to go. Still looking over the back of the Aston. Hit a really random bump there and it sent him wide. But Ferrari not able to make the move. And onto the back straight this time, surely now he will. Big mistake there from the Aston, lost the back end, and the Ferrari should be able to sweep around the outside without much fuss. Yep, gets that done. So in the chat we'll be happy. Phoenix 1 are up to 7th place. And now they can go on the rampage. See if they can't catch up to the top 6. Well, the Aston's closing on the back straight there, look. It's got some good pace along there, but it's more in hope than anything else. In fact, Southern State Racing now joined the back of that. And can he make the move on the Aston Martin as well? "25-second lead after 25 laps, so a second a lap. AOR are pulling away. They are cruising. Team Phoenix 2 probably wish they were, but slow motion racers are not going to let them off the hook. FRL racing team is still in the pits. It's a disaster for them. Ooh, wide for the Porsche, he goes off, and that's going to allow the Honda through and the McLaren of TB Esports and the BRC racing team. They both move up positions. 20th and 21st now. That should change now as they cross the line. It does. So we are getting some great racing here. Hope you're enjoying it. Rolling 8 in the chat clearly isn't. You can come and do this for me if you want, mate. I don't mind. Gordon's still under threat from Will Friedman. And they're still behind Roman Miska. And Will now trying to set something up. He's trying to take different lines to get a run on the McLaren, but like I say, the Mercedes doesn't have a great speed down the straight, which is something it sometimes has, and that's the line that Will's been trying to get a good run off the banking to give him some extra speed down the straight. You can see he's not actually closing up in the slipstream, so he's going to have to try and send it on the brakes at some point. The problem is, it makes it really hard when you get that situation. So I will be live with you for another 15 minutes, and then we will get Tom Cairns on it, the proper professional, to do this. And Team Fenix 1 are racing away from that Aston Martin just to show that they were being held up. Buzov down to 9th, so something's happened to him. I've missed that. Just noticed then, Buzov down to 9th place, so whether there was contact, did he jump or was he pushed? Just trying to see, Mailer's moved up as well, so I'm guessing there was contact with Zukovic. See if there's any damage on the BMW that I can see. Nothing stands out, and here we go now. It's happened. It had to when I wasn't looking. Slow motion racers move up into second place past Team Fenix 2, and with the pace that they look like they have, they should be able to clear off, as Mailer now looks for a move on the Ferrari as he tries to get his head back in the game. And that's the favourite place for that BMW down the inside there, but he can't pull it off. The Ferrari's really good on the brakes. Zukovic also looking to join this. Ooh, shows the nose for Mailer there. Now onto the back straight. Ferrari bouncing around a little bit on the bumps. BMW not at all. Through this tyre killer of a corners, complex of corners, and the front left screaming enough, and then you get this right hander which puts more pressure on the front left. Team Year 1 took out Nico Buzov apparently, so that was Mailer that did it apparently, according to the chat. I'm reliably informed, so that will possibly go to the stewards later on. Thanks to AMS for that information. I just guessed. I didn't know. And Mailer's looking to stick one on another car now. He's right behind the Fenix 2, going around the outside, and more contact, more contact, more contact, and there's the escape road. And he loses position to Zukovic, who's probably trying to stop laughing as we speak, watching that kick off. And if it's true what happened to Mailer, then he's just got a taste of his own medicine there. His tyres will be dirty for a few corners until he can get back on the pace. Will Freeman, has he dropped down slightly? No, I think he's about where he was, 14th. It's my team there. Craig Law driving for us, SBR Endurance in 11th place, but not seemingly able to catch 10th. Nikola Buzov in 9th. After that contact, you can see the back of his car. It looks like someone's decided to hit it with a bat several times, so that won't be handling too well. Deron in 8th place, Jorgensen in 7th, and the lead Aston Martin. What pace the leader's doing? Well, this will scare you. So I'd imagine, I don't want to press too many buttons and mess it up, but I would imagine we can hit drive. Now I just need to find him. So the leader, his fastest lap is a 35.8, which probably would have been put him pretty well on in the top 10 on the grid. Last lap was a 37.1. Second place now is doing 38.1s as tyres are starting to crumble. And we have 38.7 for third, 38.1 for Zukovic, so he's doing well with his tyres. Mailer did 39.8, but we know he had troubles that lap. 37.5 for the Fenix 1 Ferrari, and that's on the charge. Nordic E-Racing doing 37.9s. De Ron's doing 38.3. Buzov 38.0, so he's not slowed down too much, that's pretty good pace. 37.6 for the Aston Martin of McCutcheon. Craig Law doing 38.3. He's quicker than Godon. So yeah. Basically, you have AOR in a different league. Yeah, tyre wear is huge here, as any of the drivers that have driven in the first stints will tell you. It's literally, well, for us obviously with the Mercedes, the front left was killer. But look at the slow motion racers go. Nothing slow motion, like I said about this. This is epic pace, and currently nailing down second place, but obviously still half the race to go as we get our first pit stop of this second part, and it's the 888 Ferrari. Now, will they do a driver change, or will they carry on with the same driver? Put Druzella. We'll find out when he goes through the first intermediate. Meanwhile, Craig Law seems to have had another problem, I would say, because he has dropped down the order again. He's now behind Ben Godden. Yeah, he's dropped a place to Ben Godden, and he has Miska and Will Friedman right behind him. So I'd imagine another spin there. So not a good race for the SBR Endurance team. So I say that's my team, but working his way through the traffic as Campeak for APEC Online Racing Pro, cruising along. Like quarter of a lap over the rest of the field right now. Slow motion racers just making their point and pulling away. Zukovic now third, with Mailer fourth, Midzogo fifth, sorry, Jorgensen, Durand. Then we have Buzov on the fight back, McCutcheon, big gap then back to Gordon. Now comes over round the last corner and off the banking in 10th place. Ahead of Craig Law in 11th, Ruben Miska in 12th, Will Freeman 13th, still can't find a way through past that Mercedes, or can he now? Nope, has a little look. This seems to be the main battle at the moment though, for third place. Difficult to be in a fight with a car which is the same as yours. Makes it a little bit more awkward, because you're both running the same equipment, so you'll have the same speed and technically corner speed, so it all comes down to setup. So it's probably more who's got more tyre left. And then a little twitch there from the Rover racing car of Zukovic. But Mailer not close enough to make him pay for that one, even though he thinks he is, so he's doing a little bit of weaving there. This is the most important battle on the track. There are others, so let's try and cover all of them. Will Freeman. Still looking at Miskova, and that's really wide from Will. Watch the wall. He's getting a bit carried away there with his off the banking, and we've got Miskova going past Craig Law. So did Craig wreck his tyres when he had another spin? And Craig not giving up though, fights back and keeps that 11th place. So maybe we'll see the Puma Mercedes in the pits very soon for tyres, because it looks like he's running out of them pretty quickly. Looking down the field, so FRL Racing Team lost 6 laps for that. That's horrendous. And someone else has just disconnected. Answers on a postcard, but someone else has just disconnected. I saw the flash as someone fell out of the lobby. It's not the FRL Racing Team, is it Will Freeman? Nope, he's still there. The French connection is still working. SBR, GBR doing a good job as well. They're moving up pretty quickly. Up to 15th now. And those guys I know for a fact started 23rd. I think even in the restart they were lower than that, so good job from them. BMW still at war here. Ooh, wide from the Aston. McLaren on a tight line. Oh, we've seen contact like that before. They got away with it that time. And who's off there in the background just waiting. Ams is getting ready for his stint, yep. Good luck. As McLaren tries another attack, the Aston Martin would have gone deep on the brakes, but he just managed to square that off okay. And Nicola Buzov there just lurking with intent as he tries to get back into the podium fight. And into the pits there comes the Ignition team, but they're well down. And Jackie's Racing team, it looks like, got disconnected, but they're well out of it at the moment. Ignition Sim Racing back in the pits. Jorgensen pits as well for Nordic E Racing. Hey, William Rayner in the chat, you know what have I missed? Well, what you've missed is a lot of things actually. Apex Online Racing are walking it at the moment. They're pulling away at a second lap, but we had a big we needed a red flag for a mass disconnect just after the 5 hour mark, 5 hours to go. So the race was red flagged and we restarted with 5 hours to go. Credit to the admin team, as I've said before. And this is the current state of affairs. So you've got Apex Online Racing, who are already at the next venue, wherever that is. Big lead. Unlikely to be challenged, I think. Second, Slow Motion Racers, they've moved up well on the restart. Third is Zukovic, but he's under attack from Mailer. And Bizogo Team Phoenix One, sorry, they've moved up well as well, as has Southern State Racing. Then we've got Buzov for SBR Europe in 7th, McCutcheon in 8th for Turn 1 Sim Racing. Godden is in 9th for Race Club. Miskova has got past now Craig Law for 10th place. So Craig obviously struggling with his tyres. He's now got Will Freeman for to play with. So Mercedes have their own little private battle. I'd imagine Craig's tyres are completely ruined if he's spun twice. So Will look to benefit from that. Wouldn't surprise me if Craig dived into the pits at some point. And actually Will's going to do it. He's going to try the undercut. And that seems like a sensible move to me. McCutcheon in as well. Although, don't really know what's happened there. He seems to have stopped at the wrong box and now he's reversing. He'll be pulling out a table and having some lunch in a minute if he carries on like that. So a lot of people pitting. We've got the Jota team as well. I can see, but I can't find. They're pitting. They were 14th when they pitted. So plenty of pit stops happening now. To Stefano as well in the BRC racing team. He was having fun in the early laps. But well, you can only take your hat off to this performance from Apex Online Racing. Absolutely walking it. It's literally a quarter of a lap's lead already. But very soon, Tom Cairns would have taken over from me. And he's picked the right time to take over as well, because Mailer now pitting from third. So all the pit stops are just starting to take effect. So the order will get a bit jumbled now, but I'm sure Tom will take you through all that. So we'll try and do a quick transition here, but Craig Law now pitting as well. And I'll hand over now to Tom Cairns when we hit the 4-hour mark. Tom, our professional PlayStation commentator, so things will get better from now on, I promise. And Tom taking over at a crucial time now as the race starts to get into the second half now. We're halfway at last. So I've been Ben Milden. Sorry about anything I might have missed, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. And yeah, catch Tom's stream. It will be up any second on the FRL admin on the FRL YouTube page. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully the race continues like it is.